What I'm going to talk about today is the human aspect of intelligent FP&A and how the practice of intelligent FP&A works in a crisis. In my opinion, the purpose of intelligent FP&A is to help businesses make better decisions. In a crisis, everything is about speed and making quick decisions. Almost all of us are really good at analyzing data to explain past events. The problem is past performance doesn't help us forecast the future. Here's a question for all of you to ponder. How accurate have the government models for forecasting the impacts of COVID been? I think honestly, we can all say if we forecasted like the governments, we'd be happy to keep our jobs. So how do we make our forecasts more influential to our leaders? Nobody knows the future, although typically we're asked to forecast it with precision. So let me start off with a quote. The key to good decision making is not knowledge, it is understanding. We are swimming in the former. We are desperately lacking in the latter. This comes from Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote about making decisions based on past experience and understanding in his book, Blink. What my team does is seek to base the information we provide on three things. Understanding data, coupling that with understanding the business and understanding relationship with clients. All three are important. So let's talk about what actually happened when COVID hit us. If you can go to the next slide. In March 2019, the COVID pandemic became real to us very quickly. At Gallagher, our first priority is the health and safety of our colleagues. So we mobilized our business continuity plans around the globe, and we're up and running, working from home within a few days. We're working remotely without missing a step. This is the payoff of our relentless efforts over the past decade to standardize work, streamline processes, and operate using common systems. Working at home, our people have the right tools and systems in order to deliver the highest quality service to our clients. As we began mobilizing people, I told our business leaders to think about it like a pending hurricane. It might hit, it might not, but regardless, you have to prepare for the potential implications. Start thinking about what you need to do to transform your business in a crisis. The strong get stronger, the weak get eliminated. How are we positioning ourselves to come out of the crisis stronger relative to our competitors? We want our leaders thinking proactively with a growth mindset, even if we might be playing some defense as the external world may be experiencing a recession. In FP&A, we must assess the reality of a deteriorating economic condition to come up with a forecast that help our business leaders respond appropriately. Next slide. We took two approaches to forecasting, a macro approach and a micro approach. The macro approach is on the $7 billion company as a whole. It's about helping senior management run the entire company. We broke down our entire business using standard industrial classification codes that count for all of our revenue. The data is really slick. You can just pick out a code and we can slice and dice out revenues exactly. We can look at this with numbers of factors, including coverage across segments, geographic location, etc. We categorize the SIC codes into three buckets: high impact, medium impact, and low impact. For example, hospitality and travel industry are high impact, manufacturing, construction, medium impact, public entity governments, low impact. We also consider the property casualty rate environment, 2020 quarterly economic forecast of global GDP, global unemployment, announced government programs and fiscal stimulus, historical financial performance during past recessions, analysis of customer spending data trends, and return to organic revenue growth during 2021. The result of all this analysis is that although economic conditions are deteriorating, we are not expecting revenue to fall off a cliff. Accounting Standard 606 drives our revenue accounting, so we have to estimate reserves for audits, cancellations, and midterm adjustments for policy adjustments. We put up a 3.2 reserve in Q1 for these allowances. Based on this forecast, we're implementing changes to reduce our expense base by $50 to $75 million per quarter. That will come from reduced travel and entertainment and advertising expenses, reduced technology consulting and other professional fees, reduced temporary labor. We're really looking to make sure our expense base is in line with revenues. The micro approach is about helping individual leaders who run branches between 10 and 50 million understand their business better. In most cases, we are working directly with managers, salespeople to get the salespeople to forecast their clients and voluntarily take down their own variable compensation if forecasts look weaker. We tell salespeople, it's always better if you come to me with a reduction request in your pay as opposed to me having to come to you. It just works better. We then roll up all the combined forecasts of each salesperson so branch managers can see what it looks like for their entire branch. This helps them manage ratios like compensation as a percentage of revenues. We've changed receivable report distribution from informational to interactive, requiring a response back in the form of a heat color map, red, yellow, or green. This both forces a more active role in reviewing receivables, as well as allows us to quantify potential receivable. We also look at detailed expenses more critical than we have in the past and look to say, what can we eliminate? This all accumulates in a monthly financial meeting that branch leadership leads, similar to how a CEO of a company leads a quarterly earnings call. The branch leader has to lead using our data. We want everyone on the same page as what we're seeing, combining direction from what we're getting from the macro forecast above with what we're seeing at a local level. Then, if what we're seeing in the micro doesn't match the macro, we communicate back upstream so the impact of the macro forecast can be adjusted accordingly. Next slide. The new normal. In these monthly meetings, we also discuss what's going to happen as we return back to work. We look at the strong getting stronger and the weak get weaker. We ask all the branch managers to think about what they are strong in and how they can become stronger. We need to give up those things we are weak in and focus on our strengths. Virtual team meetings versus physical office-based meetings. As we think about going back to work, how will we do it differently? If we don't need to be there, do we need to be there? How can we run our offices more efficiently using technology? Speed in sharing information versus ability to wait for perfect analysis. In the past, we took 4 months to do a budget. Can we accomplish the same intelligence of a budget much faster? Electronic transactions versus paper-based or cash check. We're eliminating paper checks and paper to the extent possible. How does this make us more efficient? So in summary, I think analyzing data is important in FP&A. However, discussing it in a collaborative way and getting your business leaders to understand it and take it as their own to drive decisions is really the critical factor for success. Thank you.